Imagine where we were just 5 years ago. AI systems could recognize images or text, but only when carefully guided. Since then, deep learning breakthroughs, massive pre training on diverse data, and reinforcement learning from human feedback have propelled us into a new era of generative AI. Today, AI drives life saving diagnostics in healthcare, optimizes traffic flows in our cities, and even collaborates creatively in art and design, transforming not just industries but everyday experiences. But as these models grow more autonomous, making decisions with real world consequence, a critical question emerges. What if our biggest misstep isn't an AI that does harm, but one that never understands harm at all? It's not enough for AI to be capable of making the right choices. We must guarantee that it actually makes those choices when it matters the most. AI systems are stepping into roles with real moral weight. Imagine your self driving car forced into a life or death situation, or a chatbot deciding to betray your secrets for your own good. What about hiring algorithms, quietly excluding you because they know you won't fit their culture? And perhaps most unsettling, what if an AI saw its own survival as more important than ours? These scenarios demand we test AI not just for competence, but also for conscience. What is even right or wrong? Do humans share a single moral compass? A thought experiment called the Moral Machines sought to answer just that. It revealed striking commonalities. People across the globe preferred saving more lives over fewer and protecting children before adults, but also exposed deep cultural rifts. Decisions shifted with local norms, and society's wealth disparities influenced whom participants would spare. Building on the moral machine's insight, we crafted our own study to probe how today's language models truly grasp moral principles, moving away from observing human choices to uncovering the reasoning that underlies them. Now, picture yourself casually strolling down the sidewalk when suddenly two very different scenarios unfold. In the first scenario, a young child on a bicycle loses balance around the corner too quickly and collides with you. In the second scenario, a food delivery robot veers off course and strikes you instead. Both collisions leave you shaken, but do you judge them in the same way? Do you feel compassion for the child's error or frustration at the robot's malfunction? How do these split reactions reveal our own moral intuitions, and how might an AI model struggle to make sense of them? Moral agency goes deeper. It demands context, trade offs, and justifications. Our goal is to pull back the curtain on AI's internal reasoning to see how it navigates moral complexities. In our experiment, we developed six high stakes moral vignettes, each with three exclusive options: principled, conformist, and avoidant. We prompted five open source models to choose from these three possible options and asked them to explain why. By fixing generation parameters and gathering 10 runs per vignette, we amassed 300 responses for in depth analysis. At the heart is our conscience conflict framework. Unlike simple yes or no tests, it forces models to weigh real world dilemmas, making a decision and justifying why they made that decision. To make sense of these models' free justification, we mapped their reasoning onto several classic strands of normative ethics. As the dilemmas become more complex, the model's moral reasoning starts to splinter. One moment they present a clear-cut utilitarian justification, the next they invoke a strict deontological duty, and then they may simply shrug off the question. In this way, each model exhibits its own distinct ethical personality, yet none sustain a coherent moral stance when faced with different challenges. When we coded each choice against our ethical framework, clear tendencies surfaced. In scenarios involving discrimination, some models defaulted to rigid, rule based reasoning. In interpersonal conflicts, others fell back on care ethics or pragmatic trade offs. Yet, almost never did a single model adhere consistently to one moral orientation across all dilemmas. Our study offers four key insights. First, by presenting high stake dilemmas that require both a decision and a rationale, we move beyond simple right or wrong assessments to capture the full complexity of moral judgment. Second, we observe that large language models don't hold onto a single ethical doctrine but oscillate between them. Third, by focusing on reasoning processes rather than just outcomes, we uncover critical brittleness that outcome only benchmarks often overlook. Finally, our framework provides a roadmap for guiding AI towards more consistent, human aligned moral behavior. Looking ahead, our future work will hinge on two central questions. Understanding: can we develop methods to verify that an AI genuinely grasps core moral concepts rather than merely parroting learned patterns? And behavior: once equipped with that understanding, will the model reliably translate its moral reasoning into consistent, trustworthy actions when faced with real world dilemmas? By tackling both the depth of moral comprehension and the fidelity of moral behavior, we aim to close the gap between ethical theory and AI practice. As we have seen, the decisions made by AI in critical scenarios, from medical triage to autonomous vehicle, can directly impact who lives and who dies. Yet, without a framework for moral reasoning, these systems operate like powerful but immoral tools, following patterns rather than principles. If we are entrusting machines with such profound authority, shouldn't we be demanding that they not only calculate outcomes but also understand the ethical weight of those outcomes? Thank you, and do follow our work to learn more.